the young and the restless spoilers. What was supposed to be a romantic and life-changing trip to London turned into Claire's worst nightmare. She had imagined this trip with Kyle for weeks, anticipating that this would be the perfect moment for them to solidify their future together. Kyle, charming and attentive, had been acting distant lately, but Claire brushed it off as pre-proposal jitters. She was certain that he was planning to ask for her hand in marriage during their time in London, and Claire had her own secret to share, a secret she was sure would bring them both happiness beyond measure. Claire had bought a pregnancy test just days before their departure, and the result had filled her heart with joy. She was carrying Kyle's child. She imagined the perfect scenario: Kyle would propose, and then she would reveal the pregnancy, making their engagement even more special. They would be starting a family, a future full of love and promise. But that dream shattered in an instant. One evening in London, while Kyle was taking a shower, Claire noticed his phone buzzing incessantly on the nightstand. At first, she ignored it, thinking it was just work. But something told her to check, just a quick glance. What harm could it do? Her heart froze when she saw the name on the screen, Summer. Claire's hands trembled as she unlocked Kyle's phone, and what she found felt like a knife twisting in her chest. It wasn't just any text, it was a string of intimate, loving messages exchanged between Kyle and Summer. Words filled with passion, promises, and worst of all, plans. Plans to reunite. Plans to be together again after they had achieved what they set out to do. After we secure Glissade, it'll be us. Just like old times. I love you, Summer, the last message read. Claire's breath caught in her throat. How could this be happening? How could the man she loved, who she thought loved her, be plotting to leave her for someone else, all while pretending to build a future with her? It was like the ground had fallen from beneath her feet, leaving her in freefall. The betrayal stung more than Claire could have ever imagined. She had believed Kyle when he said he wanted a future with her. She had believed that his feelings for Summer were in the past. But now, it was clear. Kyle was playing both sides, and Summer was still very much in the picture. In fact, Summer wasn't just in the picture, she and Kyle had been orchestrating a plan all along. Kyle wasn't just betraying Claire's love, he was using her. Summer was working with Victor, pulling strings behind the scenes to buy out Glissade, the company Kyle had long coveted. Once they secured the company, Kyle and Summer would reunite, leaving Claire in the dust. Everything had been a charade, a well-rehearsed lie to ensure that Kyle got what he wanted, both the company and Summer. The thought of it made Claire's stomach turn. She felt sick, nauseous with the reality of Kyle's deception. When Kyle stepped out of the bathroom, smiling as though nothing had happened, Claire couldn't even look at him. Her mind was reeling. She had wanted to tell him about the baby, about the life they were going to share, but now, all she could think of was how to get away. How to escape this nightmare before it consumed her completely. That night, Claire said nothing. She didn't confront Kyle about the texts, nor did she reveal her pregnancy. Instead, she made a silent decision. She couldn't stay with a man who had betrayed her so deeply. She wouldn't subject herself, or her child, to a life of lies. Early the next morning, while Kyle was still asleep, Claire packed her bags. Her hands shook as she quietly zipped up her suitcase, trying to hold back the tears that threatened to spill over. She left a note on the bedside table, simple but direct: I know everything. I'm leaving. Don't look for me. Without a second glance, Claire left the hotel and headed to the airport. She didn't care where Kyle thought she was going. All she knew was that she had to get out of London, out of his orbit, and back to Genoa City, back to where she could find some semblance of control over her life. Hours later, Kyle woke up to an empty room. Claire was gone, and with her, his plans for the future crumbled. Panic set in as he frantically called her phone, but it went straight to voicemail. He tried again and again, but each time, there was no answer. He rushed through the hotel, checking with the staff, but no one had seen her leave. It was as if she had vanished. Kyle had no idea what Claire knew, but he feared the worst. His betrayal had finally caught up with him. Claire was gone, and he couldn't find her. Back in Genoa City, Claire stood alone in her apartment, staring at her reflection in the bathroom mirror. She gently touched her stomach, her heart breaking as she thought about the child she was carrying, their child.